Hi there, Julianne Jones here with the answers to my video Q&A Monday. I'm recording this on Tuesday morning and I had several questions yesterday, which is awesome. I'm glad that you guys are getting on board with this. You can head over to the fan page and the link is below this video. And make sure that you like the page and that you click on the get notifications and following button so that when I post something, it'll show up in your timeline. And every Monday you can head over there and ask your questions, and then I will make a video like this and answer them for you. So let's start off with a couple questions that I received. Actually, I received one as a private message, and I'm going to just start with that, and then we'll head over to the fan page and I'll answer those. So this question was asked by Brenda Berman Cheslock, and I'm not going to read it in its entirety because it's kind of long, but basically what she's saying is that her company issues 2 major catalogs each year, and oftentimes when they issue a new catalog, there are old items that are not in the new catalog. And so she's wondering if by not having a crazy make room for the new inventory sale every time that, twice a year when they release a new catalog, is she doing a bad thing or a good thing? She says she never wants to devalue her product or create disloyalty with her customer base. Would you recommend one even if the company does not? Curious to hear any input. I'm guessing she's talking about recommend a sale. So, that's a tough one. I think rather than actually doing a sale, come, buy these products at crazy low prices, so that I can get you into the new catalog at regular prices, what I would do probably is take those items as discontinued items and use them as promotional tools, either as host gifts or as drawings. For if you're doing like a host special of your own that month, everybody who books a party is entered into a drawing for this item. Or what I used to do with those items was when I would have a meeting where people brought guests, we would actually use those items as an incentive for people to stay and listen to the opportunity portion of that meeting. And I actually would cover up the products, put them on a table and cover them up with a sheet. And so you could tell there was something on the table, but you couldn't see what it was. And I would tell them at the end of the opportunity portion of the meeting tonight, when I'm done talking about that, if you would like to stay for that, we're going to basically make everything available on this table for $5 or $10 or half price or however you want to do that. So it's a little bit of an incentive, and that worked really well. So anything that you can do to use those products to build your business, I think makes more sense than just offering a big sale at 50% off. So hopefully that answers your question, Brenda, and thanks for asking that. So first question comes from Leanne Markham Kirasik, I think. Who, how, and when do you approach people to join your team? Specifically looking for verbiage. Thanks. So I'm going to disappoint you a little bit, Leanne. I'm not a big believer in a canned verbiage or something to say as you approach someone. I'm a big believer in starting by asking questions. So I guess the verbiage would be to ask them a question about themselves or their life. And a lot of it also depends on the situation. So for instance, if you want to recruit your host, which I highly recommend that you offer your opportunity to every host, they're the greatest well for you to go to as far as new team members, then you're gonna already have a situation where you're talking with them, you're building a relationship, and it's very easy to ask, could you ever see yourself enjoying what I do? It's a great question to ask. Or what do you think you'd love to change in your life? What's an area of your life that maybe isn't, super fulfilling for you? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you around your, personal development, or how are you feeling about your finances or whatever? So that if you're asking them questions and you're getting clear about where they need support or where your opportunity might support them, then it's easier to share from that perspective. I've never been a big fan of what I call assaulting people in the grocery store line. I think it's really awkward to just try to start a conversation with someone with the sole purpose of sharing your products or your opportunity. I think people see right through that. It's really transparent. But if you're having a conversation and it comes up that, someone's really struggling with their daycare situation and they wish they didn't have to work and have their kids in daycare, it's a perfect opening for you to say, I felt the same way before, if this is your situation, obviously, before I started my business, and it's really changed my life. I'd love to have a cup of coffee and share with you, why I am so happy with what I do. Or have you ever, considered working for yourself or having your own business? Usually the answer is going to be yes, and it's a great opening then for you to say, I'd love to sit down and share with you. I don't think that you ever in that moment, unless you're sitting having coffee, say, let me recruit you. It's really more about getting that person to agree to sit down with you so that then you can have a conversation and ask them the questions about their own life so that you can find out the best way to share your opportunity from that perspective. What's in it for them? Okay, so hopefully that helps. Great question. Thank you. Tessa Spivak, the verbiage when following up on leads from trade shows. So first of all, let me just say, I think you have to be careful about how you collect leads at trade shows, Tessa. So for instance, if you have a drawing and if they just enter their name and information into your drawing, that's how you've collected that lead. It's not a very quality lead, unfortunately, because many times, especially if you're at a women's fair or a trade show of any kind, people, a lot of times they know that there are a lot of giveaways, and I've seen people bring their self-addressed, return address stamp the thing, put it in the bucket, and move on. So what I recommend is that you only collect leads that you know are truly interested in your opportunity or your product. And you have to, in order to do that, you have to be out and interacting in front of your booth, talking to people. My friend Deb Bixler says if you show up at your booth and there are chairs, get rid of them, move them to the booth next to you. You don't want to ever be sitting when you're working a trade show. You want to be out in front. And if you're interacting with them, and I would even recommend that you fill out the door prize drawing slip for them. So you interact with them, you see that there's a spark of interest, and you say, hey, you know what, I have a drawing going on for people who are interested in my product or booking a party or my opportunity. I'd love to add you to the drawing. Let's fill out the slip really quickly, and I'll get you entered. And then as you're filling it out, you can make a note. If that person is someone who is... that was my husband back there. See, keeping it real. This happened last week too, only I think when he came upstairs, he was going up to get a pair of pants. He didn't have pants on, so I had to find a way to cut him out of the video. So anyway, that's the cornerstone of my brand, authenticity, right? Anyway, so if you're filling out that door prize drawing slip, you can actually write something at the bottom to remember that person by. So when you do follow up, you have a reason to do that. So that's the first thing. Collect the leads that are quality value leads. And then when you're following up, I would say, any way that you normally follow up with potential leads or customers or hosts, whether that's email, text, Facebook messaging, phone calls, or all of the above. There's no reason why you can't use more than one modality to reach out to that person in the hopes that you'll actually reach them. And, I would ask the question as you're filling out the door prize slip, is it okay if I follow up with you? And if they say yes, now you have permission to do that, and so you can keep on calling until you actually connect with them. Thank you. Great question. Melanie Powies, I believe it is, P-O-W-Y-S. I love your Q&A session. Thanks for the feedback. I'm with a direct selling company. We have a great anti-aging skincare line. Any advice that you can give me on how to recruit and grow would be appreciated. That's a huge question, Melanie. You recruit and grow with that product in the same way that you recruit and grow with any product. It's about creating relationships with people, getting in front of people, sharing relevant information that'll help them make the decision to want to learn more or to want to purchase your product. It's really about opening your mouth and sharing your own experience, sharing the benefits of, again, what's in it for them if they decide to interact with you in any way, whether that's sponsoring or consuming your product or hosting a party if you do parties. I think it's important that you respect your friends and family, especially if you're using social media. So don't make your timeline a constant stream of, barrage of here's my newest product or look how great this works or whatever. A well-placed video. I'm using my personal profile quite a bit more now because of the issue that Facebook has created regarding the algorithm around the business page, my business page, which is what I'm on now. But, I have almost 26,000 fans and I don't get very much exposure on that page. I'm happy now if I have 1,500 people see a post, whereas it used to be 8,000 to 10,000. So I am using my personal profile now because a lot of my friends on Facebook are also direct sellers. And so that profile, I will, post like this video, I'll post over there, or maybe a couple, 3 times a week, I'll post something relevant to direct sales. It doesn't bother my friends and family. They know that's what I do. But I'm also not barraging them. So I would say make sure that you're sharing at relevant times. Make sure that you're really following up. That's very important. If you get a lead and they say they're interested, you keep following up until you either connect with them or they tell you to stop. And, offering your opportunity or your products in a subtle way that doesn't seem pushy to you or to your friends and family. Hopefully that helps. Shauna Cutliff has a couple questions. Number one, she says, I'm struggling with the best way to keep track of my follow-ups. We use the 222 method, but I just don't know how to work it well. So there are several different options for follow-up, but I'll tell you the things that you need to make sure are in place. Number one, it has to be consistent, and that depends on you. So you have to make sure that you're filling whatever it is out consistently or typing the information in if it's an electronic system like you're using Outlook, for instance. Make sure that you're keeping track of every one of those times that you connect with those leads. Make sure that that system reminds you every single time to make the call, whether it's you're looking at a paper calendar or it's a reminder coming up on your computer. You have to make sure that you're reminded to make the call and that you keep scheduling those reminders if you don't reach that person. And number three, it has to be something that you're comfortable using, that you will consistently use. So you can do a paper calendar, you can do an index card system where you have index cards in a accordion file. You can use an electronic system with your iPhone, or excuse me, with the advent of smartphones now. A lot of people tend to do that because everybody has their phone in their pocket or their purse, and your calendar's there, and it all syncs together. So I use a combination of an electronic system. For my follow-up, I use a 100% electronic system. So basically, I create a reminder on my calendar. It syncs with everything, and then I get an alarm that says, call this person today. I have a planner that I use for planning my week and goal setting and that kind of thing, but my calendar is electronic. So whatever system you choose, just make sure that you're consistent with it and that you're using it. And basically, then if you have the 222 method, which I'm pretty sure that means you follow up. I'm not exactly sure what the 222 method is in your case, because it's different. But anyway, if you're supposed to follow up with that person, 2 times in a week, let's say, then you need to make sure that you schedule that so that you remember to make that call. So a lot of the onus is on you, and the best follow-up system in the world isn't going to work if you're not making sure that you're, following up or keeping it up to date. And then she had one other question. I know you've talked about hostess coaching before, but how do you do that when it's an online party? Really the same way, except that the person might not be close to you. So if you have an online host and they live in another state or whatever, you make an appointment to Skype with them or make a phone call to them to talk them through exactly how to share whatever platform you're using to host the party, to make sure she knows who to invite so she doesn't spam everybody in her list on Facebook, even though not all of them are interested in the party. I think you have to do a little bit more host coaching even with the virtual party, because you have to make sure that they understand all the moving pieces. Here's the link that you share for someone to get into the Facebook event if you're using that. Here's the link that you share to make sure that people know where to go for the live party itself. Here's the link to my online ordering system, and here's how it works. So it's really pretty much the same, but you want to make sure that you schedule that up front and that person knows that there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve involved for them as far as hosting that party. Fabulous. Great questions today. Come back next Monday and we'll do another Q&A video Monday. Hope you're having a fabulous week, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you in any of the places where I am online, and you'll find all those down below this video and links so that you can find me. Hope you're having a fabulous day.